preserved my youth. Not only did it capture my goals, it told me the truth.
Conversate for a few, cause it a few.
I let them know we missing you. The love is unconditional.
Wave your hands across the land if we family.
We got a world premiere right here, now get lost.
So off we go, let the trumpets blow. And hold on, because the driver of the mission is a pro.
You're right, because I think back to when I first graduated from college, and I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. Don't let the red mess you up. This is for the show. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, and I remember, trying to transition from being involved on the college level in my chapter to the graduate level, right, to the alumni level. Yeah. And I remember how condescending some of the older brothers were, and like, yeah, you young brothers, y'all just come and help be the muscle and lift the chairs, set up for the events. We need y'all to show up and do this, but you don't really have any input on the direction of what we do. So then what happened? We just checked out. A lot of them checked out. Well, if I don't have any say so, and I'm just there to be there, then why would I even show up to, where I'm not respected or even valued? And I think you're right. We are seeing that a lot with these young people. We're seeing it a lot with Black men. And while I don't agree,
especially in Georgia,
while I don't agree with those Black men, I think that it's a problem for the Democratic Party, and they have to find a way to resolve it. And it's not going to be by hiring white pollsters. They need to get people like you and me, or even younger people than us, to be able to go out and relate, get the answers that we need, and to frame the message in a way that's relatable and that's going to be efficient to turn this thing around.
I would go a step further with the Black men problem. I don't think that the Democratic Party has a problem with Black men. I think that we have a heterosexual Black man problem. I think there's plenty of space, plenty of opportunity, plenty of welcoming open arms for Black men who identify as the LGBT community. But I think that I haven't seen it be very welcoming to heterosexual Black men. I don't know why. I just said I don't know why. I do not know why. But I watch and I hear their frustration. I see their frustration. And I've talked to some of them because I'm a boy mom. So it's certain things I look for and I pay attention to because I'm very sensitive about, well, would my sons be welcome here? Would my sons thrive here? And it's not just a party I look at that way. I look at a lot of things. And I want this to be a world where everybody is welcome. Everybody has an opportunity. Everybody has an opportunity to thrive. And I just have not seen heterosexual Black men be able to make much headway in our party.
Well, I think that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. So it goes to the bigger question that I have for you. In your opinion, what strategy does the Democratic Party need to put into place? If it were up to you, if you were driving the bus, what would you put into place? Because I saw some things where, like, Cory Booker was saying, like, the first thing we do when we take back over the House and the Senate is we're going to impeach Donald Trump. And that don't move the needle for people.
That man is dang near 80 years old.
It don't move the needle.
Leave him alone. Well, no, he's over 80, and how old is Donald Trump?
Listen,
he's about 80. He's about 80.
He old as fucking old as dirt.
Wait, no, let's put the real truth out there.
Walter Weed and ankles all swollen and everything. Like, no, but the point is, like, they don't care. What people care about is, man, groceries is high. Like you
That's
said,
right.
Can't afford. Even if I wanted to buy a house, hell, I can't afford some of these apartments out here, right? And if I wanted to start a family, I talk to a lot of young people. It's like, I ain't having no kids. I barely feed them myself. How I'm gonna have a child? And so you got a party saying affordability is a hoax, right? Like, there's so many things that can be focused on to motivate voters. Impeaching Donald Trump is not one of them.
Not, and honestly, I think voters are kind of over the "we hate Trump" thing, because I mean we do hate Trump, but what is hating Trump gonna get us
With
really?
passion.
Yeah, you can't take your hate for Trump to the grocery store and buy groceries. You can't take it to the gas station and fill up your car. It's not doing anything. We need to focus on real, sustainable affordability for people. We need to focus on doing some things that are going to improve the quality of people's lives. Donald Trump being dead or alive does not affect me. Donald Trump being impeached or not does not affect me on a day to day basis. Do I think he belongs in jail? Absolutely. But I don't want you to use your time and resources on that when you could be fixing my life.
Right. Right.
And I think that the Democratic Party needs to get back to the kitchen table issues where we talk about things like affordability, healthcare, quality education. Those things are universal.
Right.
Those things matter to Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Green Party members. They matter to everybody. So why are we not talking about those things that matter to everybody instead of focusing so much on things like identity politics?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I think with this midterm election coming up, it's very critical. It seems like every election now is critical, right? But I
Mm.
think this
It
one,
gets more and more critical.
this one coming up. I mean, because like folks try to tell people, listen, you cannot let him into office, or
That's right.
he's going to be able to put these crazy folks on the Supreme Court, and we see
Hmm.
how that played out for us. We see that he has the House, he has the Senate, and he has the courts.
And so,
He,
but you know what? That takes me back to something we talked about earlier about Democrats being proactive. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was very selfish and evil for not resigning instead of just dying. As soon as President Obama was elected, she should have resigned. That should start becoming the norm. When we see that we have a Democratic president come into office, a a Democratic House and Senate, or even one that is agreeable, because it doesn't necessarily have to be all Democrats, but just a sensible House and Senate. You know, Supreme Court justices need to go ahead and retire
well,
for the good of the country.
first of all, it should be an age limit for all politicians. I know you're an elected official, but it should be an age
I don't
limit.
believe that.
I do.
So I don't believe. Let me tell you why. I'm gonna
Especially
tell you
for
why.
either an age limit or a term limit for the Supreme Court.
I believe in a term limit for the Supreme Court, but I don't believe in age limits because it's nothing wrong with age. What's wrong is when someone doesn't have the mental acuity to do the job. So as long as they have the mental acuity, they need to be allowed to do the job. If they need to go home, let the voters send them home. I really think that putting term limits on people now, I believe in term limits for the Supreme Court because they are appointed. They're not elected. But for elected individuals, I don't believe in term limits. I believe when the people are tired of them, let the people send them home.
I just feel like when it comes to people who are in their 80s making policy decisions that are going to impact us for years and years to come, and they are may or may not be in touch with all of the electorate that they represent. I think that there's an issue with that. I don't think that there should be any elected official that's traveling with their own nurse to get around. I just don't. I don't believe so. If I don't want Nana in her 80s driving, why do I want her making decisions that are going to impact my grandchildren and her great grandchildren? I mean,
So
I hear
let
what
me
you're
ask you
saying.
this. So is it fair to Nana that somebody 25 and 35-year-old makes decisions about people who are aging? One thing about Nana, she's been 25 and she's been 35. But that 25 and 35-year-old, they've never been Nana. They've never been 80. So I don't think that we should discount the wisdom that comes with age. I think we should focus purely on the mental acuity. If someone doesn't have that, the mental capacity to do the job, they absolutely send them home. But that's something that can also come at a young age.
I hear what you're saying, but I think like with Jim Clyburn. right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in his 80s. And he was supposed to step
Mm-hmm.
aside to let his daughter run to take that seat. But he said, nah, I'm gonna run again. Now, what happens if we all gonna pass? Well, what if he passes soon and then I don't know South Carolina state laws, but the governor is able to put somebody into his seat, and that tips the battle, tips the balance back to the Republicans, or in a way that's negative that impacts us. That type of stuff happens. So that's why I feel like
So
if you're not physically, if you're at a certain age, right? And maybe there should be some sort
mhm,
of acuity test or some sort of test. I don't know. But I think if you talk to most people, they'd probably be in favor of age limits for politicians.
they would, and you know what? That's very sad to me, especially as a Democrat. I supported Michael Thurman in this race. Michael Thurman is 73 years old. Michael Thurman also has the best record of anybody who was there in that race. He has the reputation and the track record of fixing every single office he's been in. He also was the only person on the entire ballot who has been elected statewide as a Democrat. His all of he still has all of his mental faculties. He can probably outrun me and you. He's in very good shape mentally and physically. But I had people saying things to me like, "Oh, but he's old. He needs to go home." Listen, we're Democrats. We jump down everybody's throat about every single ism there is. But we are typically the party that are first in line to be ageist and show ageism.
Mm.
And that bothers me. That bothers me because if you have someone who's mentally equipped, who can do this job and do it well, why are we telling them that they have to go home simply because of their age?